This moment, this conversation, is me coming to find you where you are. Not where you wish you were, not where you think you should be by now, right here. Exactly as you are. And I need you to let that land before we go any further. There is a fear you carry that you have not said out loud, maybe not even to yourself in clear language, but I know it. It lives at the back of everything. It shows up at 3 in the morning when the noise of the day stops and the quiet gets too loud. It is the fear that maybe this is just how it is now, that the life you believed was possible for you, the one you prayed for, the one you could feel waiting for you when you were younger, and things still felt open. Maybe that life is not coming. Maybe you waited too long. Maybe you made too many wrong turns. Maybe while you were busy surviving, everyone else moved into the future, and the door closed behind them and you are still standing on the outside of it. That fear has been asking you questions about your choices, about your worth, about whether the things you still want are even things you are allowed to want anymore, about whether wanting them makes you foolish or naive or somehow ungrateful for what you already have. And I need you to hear what I think about that fear. It is lying to you, not because your life has been easy or because nothing is genuinely hard, but because that fear is built on a premise that is not true. It assumes that my love for you has a time limit, that there is a window for what I can do in your life and that window is closing, that my ability to move on your behalf expires if you have waited too long or failed too many times or fallen further than a certain distance. None of that is how I work. Not one word of it reflects who I am. Let me tell you what is actually true. I have been working in the places you cannot see, not around your hardest seasons through them. The stretch of time that felt like silence from me was never silence. I do not go quiet. I do not leave. I was speaking into you during every single moment you thought I had gone. I was building things in the unseen places, depth that only comes through pressure, endurance that only forms through uncertainty, a quality of compassion in you that cannot be manufactured, because it grew in someone who genuinely suffered and still chose to trust. You did not lose those years. I know it felt like loss. You are allowed to have felt that. I do not need you to pretend the hard things were comfortable, or to perform a gratitude you do not fully feel yet. I can hold the truth of how difficult it has been, bring it to me as it actually was, and then let me show you what I built in the middle of it. Because something is being constructed in your life right now that is going to surprise you when it becomes visible. It will not announce itself with drama. It will arrive the way I usually arrive, quietly, with a rightness to it that you will recognize in your spirit before you can explain it to anyone else. And when it comes, you will look back at this exact moment and understand that this was the day the season started to turn. If something I just said reached a place in you that needed reaching, I want you to write "I am here" in the comments right now. Just those 3 words. Let it be your way of saying that you are present, that you are open, that you are ready to receive what I am moving toward you. And if you know someone who needs to hear that the silence they have been living in is not abandonment, share this with them today. Be the one who put something in their hands that was meant for them. I want to pause here and speak to the people in this community who have been planting seeds into this ministry. Those of you who have given an offering through the Super Thanks button, who have sowed something into this space even in a season when your own situation felt tight. I see every seed. I keep record of every act of faith. And what you have planted has not gone unnoticed by me. It is working. It is growing. I am a God who multiplies what is given in faith, and your return is coming in a form that will be unmistakable. If you are watching this right now and you feel something in your spirit saying this is the moment, I want you to respond to that. The Super Thanks button is right there. Plant something today, not out of obligation, out of the faith that says I believe this word is real, and I am putting something behind that belief. That act of trust is a seed. And I do not let seeds die that are planted in my name. Now I want to talk about the thing you are most tired of explaining. You have a situation, a specific one, something that has gone on long enough that you have stopped mentioning it to people because you have learned what their faces do when you bring it up again. The carefully worded responses that are kind but also clearly come from someone who has moved on from it in their own mind, even if you have not been able to. The friends who stopped asking because they assumed it must have resolved. The family members who offered advice so wide of the mark that you felt more alone after the conversation than before it. You learned to carry this quietly, not because it stopped mattering, because talking about it cost you something and gave you very little back, and the loneliness of that particular silence is its own specific pain, not the loneliness of being alone, the loneliness of being surrounded by people who love you, and still being completely unseen in the thing that matters most, of living a life that looks functional from the outside and feels like barely surviving from the inside, of performing okayness so consistently that you have almost believed it yourself, except in the moments when you cannot anymore. I need you to hear something about those moments. I was in all of them, everyone you got through, everyone you barely got through, everyone you cannot fully account for, where you look back and genuinely wonder where the strength came from. I know where it came from. I was underneath everything, holding what you could not hold, keeping things from breaking, that would have broken without my hand on them. You called it resilience. You called it adrenaline. You did not always have a name for it, but I know what it was. It was my grace, given to you. Because you are mine, I want to speak now about the guilt you carry alongside everything else. Because it is there, is it not? The particular guilt of someone who believes but does not always feel their belief. Who knows what they are supposed to feel in a moment of worship and sometimes feels nothing. Who has prayed the same prayer so many times that it has started to feel like a script repeated into an empty room, and who carries a low, persistent shame about the gap between the faith they show the world and the faith they actually feel on the inside. You have wondered if I am disappointed in you. You have looked at people who seem to worship with uncomplicated joy and felt something in your chest that was part admiration and part grief. A grief you did not know how to name because naming it felt like admitting something you were not sure you were allowed to admit. Let me be direct with you about this. I am not disappointed in you. I have never been disappointed in you. What I see when I look at you is not someone failing to perform faith correctly. I see someone walking through something genuinely difficult, reaching for me with whatever they have available, and continuing to come back even when coming back takes everything. That is not thin faith dressed up as something better. That is some of the realest faith I have ever seen, because real faith is not the kind that only shows up when it feels easy. Real faith is the kind that keeps showing up when it costs something, and yours has cost you a great deal. You are not behind. You are not on the outside of something that everyone else has access to. You are right here in the middle of the conversation I have been waiting to have with you. What I want to give you today is not a feeling that will last a few days and then fade when the weight of ordinary life settles back in. I am not interested in giving you a temporary emotional lift that leaves you needing another one next week.
Dear family, I want to share something important with you all. Recently, our channel has been demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive any earnings from our videos. Each video takes a lot of time, effort, editing, and resources to create, but we still want to continue spreading these powerful and uplifting messages to you. We truly wish to keep this channel alive and continue our mission, but doing this without any support is becoming very difficult. If our content has ever helped you, inspired you, or supported you in any way, we humbly request your support through Buy Me a Coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue this journey. The support link is available in the comment section and the description. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you.
What I am building in you is structural, a knowing that does not depend on circumstances to stay standing, a foundation that holds even when everything above it is shaking. It begins with the truth about who you are. Not the name your failures have tried to give you, not the label placed on you by people who were themselves wounded and passed the wound on without knowing it. Not the verdict your hardest season tried to render on your worth, not the voice that speaks to you in the worst moments of a bad day and tells you things about yourself that you would never say to someone you loved. What I say about you? I say you are wanted, not tolerated, not managed, not kept around because walking away would be too complicated. Wanted. I chose you specifically, not because you were the best candidate, Not because no one else was available, because I looked at who you are, at every part of your history, at the broken places and the beautiful places, and the places that are somewhere in between, and I said, this one I am building something through. Now I want to talk to those of you who are in a financial situation that is pressing on you right now. I know the specific texture of that pressure. It is not just about money, it is about what the shortage says.